thank you so much for doing this interview because, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm like a stalker with you. We have run into each other in so many parties.
So many parties.
And I've always kept saying over and over again how much of a fan I am of yours, how much a fan I have been with you on Degrassi. And I had no clue that you were also not just a great actress, but you had music in the soul too. First, I gotta say thank you again so much for finally doing this interview with me.
Thank you. Thank you. I think the first time was Miss Teen Canada.
That was it.
Hey!
Oh my goodness, she's got a better memory than I do.
It's kind of my job, so I hope so.
Yeah, because I was a judge. You were a judge there too, right?
Yeah, I was.
That was a lot of fun, but probably even more fun for me is watching how you have grown as an actress. What was it like being on Degrassi? Because your character had played so many different roles, from the mean girl to the girl that was being bullied. You dealt with so many different subjects about, rape and things like that. And then sexuality too, later on in the new season. Like, your character went through a lot. So as an actress, you had to do a lot to really bring in that character's experiences.
Yeah, I went through so much. You gave a good summary of everything that my character has been through, and it was definitely a growing process for me as an actress, because I was like, okay, Anna, you have to do this storyline. Oh, okay, great. Now I need to do all this research and really, dive into that storyline to make it as authentic as possible, because I feel like it's our responsibility being on Degrassi. We are the voice for those who don't really have one. We are kind of an outlet for teens, so they know that they're never alone with whatever that they're going through. So every storyline that we told, we had to make sure that we were telling it as authentically and as raw as possible.
So here you are, you're doing all these things, you're out, representing Degrassi, representing yourself, you're going to charity events, you're doing all these things, you're with fans. When did you have time to get that music career in there? Or has that always been like a double clutch? It's always been there for you?
It's always been there, but it's always been secretively there. It took me forever to work on this EP or, short album. I don't know what to call it. Because, I want to make sure that it was 100% authentic to who I am and what I stand for. And it took me a while to really find that. And I'm so happy that it's finally out. But it's always been there, just been in the background.
So when you're out there on camera all the time, and of course Degrassi has shown that it's had success, Drake, what did you have to do to make sure that people knew that what you were doing, that you were serious? It wasn't just going to be one of those kind of flings of, yeah, I'm going to do an album because I'm an actress and I can do it.
Yes, and that's kind of been the most difficult part. That's why, we did a series of videos live at the Orange Lounge, and part of that was letting fans know that I can sing live and I'm not just in it for a temporary little, I want to milk the moment of Degrassi. No, it's always been there. My grandfather was an opera singer. I started vocal lessons. I was on Broadway when I was 11. I've been in it for a long time. Which is also why it took me so long to actually get this all together, because I wanted to make sure that the first impression was what I wanted it to be.
Okay, so what's the EP called? And what's the first single off this EP? And what's the feel of this music?
So the EP is called Epilogue, and I've released 2 chapters so far, chapters 1 and chapter 2, and the third is coming very, very soon. I'll be announcing it very soon. And the EP is kind of just a window into my life during a very emotional point. Did a lot of growing as an emotionally intelligent human being, and that's kind of what this is.
Are you going to get a chance to tour this? Or going to see you out there? Or are you still going to have to balance the music career and the acting career?
It's definitely going to be a bit of a balancing act, which I'm still trying to figure out. But obviously the hope is to tour with it and to tell these stories and connect with audiences and see all that come to life.
Before we go, because I know you got a lot more interviews you got to do today, what advice can you give those fans out there who watch Degrassi, who've watched you, who've watched your character? They're going through dark times. They're trying to figure out their lives. They're trying to find their gem. What advice can you give them that hopefully they can shine just as you've been doing?
My advice would be to stay true to who you are. There's a reason why you were born that way, and I think you need to embrace who you are because, you're the only one of you out there in the world, so embrace it and fully embody that.
Social media, where do we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at the Ana Golja, you can find me on Instagram at the Ana Golja, and you can find me on Snapchat at Muazana.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for doing this. As we're leading into 2017, end of 2017-18, happy holidays, and cannot wait to see what you're going to be doing in 2018.
Thank you so much. You as well.